What's up, YouTube?
How are there already 2 likes?
Because they can, it's a stream, and they can wait for it to pop on, and they can like it while they're waiting.
Oh.
It's Naj and Reina back with another episode. Wine.
Oh, snaps.
Reactions. You forget about the intro?
What the heck? Why you have it in a red cup? That means it's liquor.
So,
The blood of my ancestors.
I have to stop this. Let me just turn off this Slack. All right, so
Going down my throat and to my belly.
So I made a statement that we're not covering Lil Darrell no more.
You did? When? When did you say that? To me?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you meant you told them.
No. So maybe I did. I don't know. But I said that we're not gonna be talking about Lil Darrell no more. Lil Darrell is gone with the wind. But Reina came across a video that was pretty interesting. Seemed pretty interesting based off the topic.
We don't know.
The title, should I say. We haven't actually watched it yet. But it was top 5 Darrell Brooks. Wait, top 5 times Darrell Brooks thought he knew the law, right?
You have to say it correctly. Top 5 times Darrell Brooks thought he knew the law. You had to put an emphasis on thought. Like you thought you knew, but you didn't know.
You didn't really know what was up.
You thought she was gonna win, but you didn't.
So
you thought you was gonna get away with it, but you didn't. Can I get a witness? Sorry. That's horrible.
So that's what we're gonna be diving in today. What you got to say to the peoples?
Nothing. I'm ready to go.
You ready to go?
But I keep continuing to try to get Naj on a habit of process, like writing an essay. You have an intro, you have a body, you have a conclusion, and the intro should include Built by Plans. We have been sponsored, guys, by Built by Plans. And if we don't give y'all information about Built by Plans, the owner, fiance, is gonna come back and whoop Naj's butt, and that's not cool. Like nobody wants to see it. No, I don't want that owner's fiance to come for you.
Yeah. Well, that was a transition. I was like, "What you got to say?"
Guys.
That's the previous version. Got to show them the clean one. That's the first model. The BBP nightcaps. So, we talk about these all the time. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, tell them, babe.
Well, Built by Plants is a plant-based business. It is 100% vegan supplement business that you can get all your supplements from, whether it's vitamin C, multivitamin, hair growth, nails, a nightcap, which is melatonin, protein powder, creatine, and pre-workout. There's plenty more. So just to get kind of through and get started on the video, just want to make sure you guys know to go to bppsupps.com, bppsupps.com, or
BuiltByPlansBrand.com. All right.
perfect. I love it.
So
we have popcorn today. I hope it's not like annoying or gross that we're eating in front of y'all, but Naja thinks y'all gonna think it's a mukbang. I don't know. we just are hungry.
Yeah. So, and it's actually pretty good, right?
Oh, very good.
It's good, yeah. So we about to share our screen and get into the moments that Lil Darrell thought he knew what he was doing.
He thought.
Hey, actually, before we start, right
Just
fast.
trying to go for the popcorn.
My bad. Before we start, can you all just drop a comment below so I can make sure that this is working? This is our first time scheduling a live stream. And it says something about the comments may not show on the actual account. So just like drop a comment if you're in here. Just say, hey, say what's up, anything. If y'all can like hear us, drop a comment before we get started with the actual reaction and everything. So let us know. So
I'm trying to see if I can see it.
If we can see it.
I just realized I'm logged into our account. Let me get out of it.
I don't know if they're actually dropping in the comments. Let me see if I can go back. Drop a comment for me, good peeps.
Well, how many people are watching?
It says 5.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
It's okay. I'll check on my phone.
Oh, you check?
You don't have to do. Yeah, you don't have to do all that. But we should just get started. Otherwise,
okay.
We don't want to. If someone is watching, then they're actively in.
All right, let's get to it.
You said you wanted to raise a legal issue. What's the legal issue?
Let's wait for it to come up.
The legal issue is what?
Because for some reason your stuff is not.
Hold on 1 second. One sec. I don't know what that was about. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yep, it says comment unavailable.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That sucks. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just get to it. We'll figure that out in a minute.
You sure?
Give me 1 second, you all. Let me see, because it's not showing you all's comments, and I don't know
There's a
why.
live chat feature. Hold on, let me try.
Yeah, drop a comment. We're trying to figure out this comment situation before we get it rolling. Said hi. Okay,
Oh, it's
we
fine.
We're good.
I think maybe she just said comment unavailable. The live chat's available. Obviously. Like that's
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
You wanted to raise a legal issue. What's the legal issue?
The legal issue is what? How is the state allowed to coach? The
You're
people getting on the
assuming they
stand?
spoke to them and coached
Can
them.
you start over?
It's
I feel like we just
obvious.
missed it.
I'm not.
We
You
going
said you
through.
wanted to raise a legal issue.
Go ahead.
I just want to start from the top.
That's it.
That was a long intro. All right, y'all, let's get it popping. So, top 5 times Darrell Brooks thought he knew the law. Hey, Elcar Williams, you have found your people, my friend. Let's get started here.
You said you wanted to raise a legal issue. What's the legal issue?
The legal issue is what? How is the state allowed to coach? The
You're
people getting on the
assuming they
stand?
spoke to them and coached them.
It's obvious. I'm not stupid.
You
Well,
are.
I disagree with that, sir.
I do too.
We
girl.
review when Waukesha Parade.
I'm sorry. He said, I'm not stupid. She said, I disagree with that, sir.
Oh, so that's what. That's funny. What?
I have got to listen to that one more time. That's probably the only time, and I know she probably didn't, it wasn't supposed to happen that way. That's the only time Judge Darrell was able to get her lick back.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
She ain't been able to get that lick back for a while. Come on, let me go back. Hold
We'll
on.
go back to it.
The
You're
people getting on the
assuming they
stand.
spoke to them and coached them.
It's obvious. I'm not stupid.
Well, I disagree with that, sir.
We
That's
review when
funny.
Waukesha Parade defendant Darrell Brooks, who represented himself, thought he knew the law, but got it so wrong. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Come on, Jesse Weber, tell us what it is.
No one said
Real quick, if you go back just before we get started, hopefully they are playing clips of Darrell because that's like what's important to me. But I would also like to see this. But what they were talking about, you can broadcast that. What they were talking about in that clip was that, so basically when Darrell Brooks brought all of his witnesses, the defense of the state was not cross-examining them. And he said, all of a sudden they don't want to cross-examine. Now they don't want to, I find that a little suspicious. So they didn't want to cross-examine because it sounds like they probably was coaching them and telling them what to say. I'm thinking like, no, you just did such a horrible job. They didn't have to keep, you know what I mean? Like you dug your own hole. They didn't need to do
That's
nothing
funny.
else. Like your witnesses weren't for you. Your witnesses actually, they basically testified against him. Not one
interesting.
witness testified like for him.
That's interesting. Well, I'm glad you gave the backstory because I didn't know what they were talking about.
I did.
But interesting. Elcar, is that how we say your name? Elcar. Diane says She did not say Duncan. Diane Duncan says hi. What's up, Diane? We got Donna. I totally agree with the judge. Perfect timing for her response.
I'm not stupid. I think you are, sir.
You just might
Respectfully,
be,
I
mother.
have to disagree. You are an idiot.
That's funny.
being a lawyer was easy, or maybe I should say trying to be a lawyer is not so easy. And you know who may be thinking about that right now? Darrell Brooks Jr. This is the man who was just found guilty of 76 criminal charges for driving.
I don't know why, but it seems like everyone says this man's name differently. We have Darrell, Darrell. I'm like, what is his name? Darrell, Darrell. Like, what is his name? I think it's Darrell, but maybe it is Darrell.
I think it's well.
I'm gonna find out what his mother says.
Yeah.
What does she call him? She probably calls him Relly. Rail.
I don't know.
Rail.
I want to say. What did I say? Darrell? Did I say Darrell?
Little Darrell.
Lil Darrell, yeah, that's Lil Darrell.
But everyone call him different name.
A red SUV.
He look like a
group
damn
of holiday
fool.
parade goers out in Waukesha, Wisconsin, back in November of 2021, killing 6 people, injuring dozens of others.
Wait a minute. I know what this picture is. I'm going to try to look as crazy as possible so I can get the hell out of this situation. Because he never even made that face not one time.
Right.
Even when he was staring at the judge like an evil person, that wasn't even his face. He just was like, let me try to look as crazy as possible. You know, when you start acting like you're crazy.
Craziness.
When you scared, you start acting crazy so people leave you alone.
Wow.
This was a defendant who decided to fire his lawyers and actually represent himself. And despite all of the arguments that he tried to make, none of it worked for him. And the jury found him guilty across the board. So what we decided to do was
We gotta get past this, y'all.
Including verified.
And I'm not going to address it any further.
Can we address subject matter jurisdiction?
Hold on.
practice,
go.
everybody. So where to start? I think the best place to start, and you might have guessed it, subject matter jurisdiction.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
The written decision that I previously entered is what I will
Thanks.
stand on. I'm not going to address it any further.
Can we address subject matter jurisdiction and still has to be proven for the record?
I decline to do so.
Is that including verified proof that you have subject matter jurisdiction? Because it has yet to be verified or proven.
Mr. Brooks, you keep making that statement, but it's a misstatement of the requirements in the law.
So it doesn't have to be
You are
proven?
going to get a written decision. That's how I'm addressing this. And then I'm going to have the jury brought out and just providing courtesy copies to the parties as I had an opportunity to finalize that over the break.
I accept for value and return for value this document.
Thank you for noting that. All right, bring the jury out. State has its next witness, I presume, ready to go? Yep. All right. When the jury's brought out, you may call the witness.
Is that verified proof that you have subject matter jurisdiction?
The decision and order speaks for itself, sir.
Is it verified proof that you have it?
Sir, I believe it answers your questions.
I don't believe so.
Unequivocally.
She was
There's
trying
no
so hard.
verified proof proven yet. There's no verified proof if we're in common law or admiralty law.
Here you go with that sovereign. Like, you are really wasting your time. And now we know you really was wasting your time. I mean, how do we know which law we're operating of? Excuse. The United States of America, the one that you live in, fool. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah, he
stop.
just saying whatever.
Like,
it's like when you know how when you learn a new word, so you got to make sure that you use it, but you're using it all out of context.
I remember when I was like in junior in high school, I learned sophomoric. I could not stop using that word.
I still ain't learned that.
That was funny. I was like, and you're so sophomoric, and you're a sophomoric person, and this entire experience is sophomoric. Sophomoric,
Wow.
sophomoric. I don't know. Sophomoric. That was like my thing.
What court is this?
What court is this?
Sir, I believe your answers will be in that decision and order.
I don't believe so.
Well,
But you
be
don't.
ready.
Who cares what you believe?
I don't have to.
You believe running
Many
over people
times
is legal.
during the course of this
stupid.
trial, Darrell Brooks brought up the issue of subject matter
Let's hear what the
jurisdiction.
man
Now, this
said.
is basically whether a court has the power and authority to hear a case. Now, the reason seemingly he kept bringing this up is because Brooks identifies as a sovereign citizen. This is someone who doesn't believe that they're under the jurisdiction of the U.S. government, that they're exempt from certain laws. Here is the problem for Darrell Brooks.
Tell me the problem.
This is a non-issue. It's a non-issue because all you have to do is read the judge's order on this. First, she explains that the Wisconsin Constitution says that Wisconsin circuit courts like this one have jurisdiction over civil or criminal matters within the entire state. And here, a criminal complaint was filed with the court, a preliminary hearing found probable cause against Darrell Brooks, and all of the criminal charges are in fact valid. And his whole point about this being common law or admiralty law makes absolutely no sense. This is a criminal court case. What would have made sense is if he was facing, let's say, federal charges and this was being tried in a state court, then that could be an issue that he could bring up. But that's not happening here. All right. We move on to another time that Brooks thought he knew.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that? You want to go back?
I mean, pretty much the same, just out of context, not really. It's when being smart goes wrong, or trying to be.
Okay, that's better.
Because,
I don't find him smart at all.
Right, but it's like how he's presenting himself and like trying to. It's almost as if like what he's saying. I guess he thinks it's gonna work, but I don't know. Maybe he just hasn't done enough details or enough reading into. I don't know. I feel like he literally got what he's saying and all the things that he's doing off of Reddit or something. Like he went on a Reddit and just found a bunch of things about the sovereign citizen and what people usually do to try to get over with certain cases, and read up on some and just tried to like run with it.
I feel like it, like what you said. But I have like, sorry, I work in banking, and I have clients that will bring up the FDIC, which is, basically, I can't explain what it is on YouTube because I think I would get in trouble going into it. But the point is, it provides certain rights to people who put their money at a institution. I'll have people come to me and say, you can't do that because the FDIC says. I'm like looking at them like, that's not how that works. They're like, yes, it is, because I'm like, oh, well, you really believe that? I'm like, well, you go check that up with the FDIC and tell me what they say. Because it's like, that's not how it works.
Let me know what they tell you.
I mean, like, they'll say things to me, and I'm
interested.
like, that's just not how, like, who told you this? And they just are like, they have the weirdest ways of, like, constructing their thoughts around it because someone else said it. And then I had one time where a daughter was like, well, you need to do this because the FDIC. And then I told her no. And then her father came and was like, per the FDIC guidelines, and started saying these things. I was like, well, let's just bring it up, sir, and we'll go by it one by one. And I was like, it said like this, and this. He's
That's
like,
funny.
well, what about the next? I'm like, this, and this. He's like, oh, well, I just was always under the impression. I'm like, yeah, and you spreading that to your children, and your children spreading it to their friends, and your friends, and like now everybody think they're gonna be getting money, and nothing's happening for y'all. Like,
That's crazy.
Anyway, I know I veered. I'm so sorry.
That's all good.
But it's just misinformation that people just share with each other and then take it as fact.
Mm-hmm.
A whole bunch of Google doctors and scholars.
Google doctors. That's
Google
funny.
doctors and scholars.
The law, and that was when he talked about his constitutional right.
Not if I'm not allowed to face my accuser, Your Honor. My accuser in this matter would be the state of Wisconsin. And with all
Sir,
due
I believe your
respect,
Sixth Amendment rights in that regard have been complied with.
I'm requesting a written judicial finding of fact and conclusion of law on this issue for the grounds that I just stated. It was seen, based on the Sixth Amendment, that I'm not being awarded the chance to face my accuser, which I should be awarded that based on the Sixth Amendment. If I'm not able to face my accuser, then how can the claim even stand? How can a claim be brought against my client if I'm not able to face the accuser?
But this motherfucker said
Wait a
it's
minute.
his client. Did he just say, but
My boy's talking in what, third person?
are you going to go to, which way are we going? Okay, did he just say my client? Hold on.
And when he say accuser,
Oh, let's just listen to it.
Then how can the claim even stand? How can a claim be brought against my client if I'm
that's funny. My boy out here playing double roles, acting out. He's up for an Emmy.
Darrell Brooks, the man, the murderer, and the attorney.
So when he said accuser, I hope he wasn't talking about the people that has passed. Is he? Like, is that who we referring to?
No, he's talking about the state of Wisconsin. And then what he was about to say was, "Sir, Your Honor, respectfully, I don't see the state of Wisconsin sitting here. I see 3 human beings. Like, it's all 780,000 like people from the state of Wisconsin about to come in here."
There are videos from A&E court cam showing defendants pulled the sovereign citizen pseudo law on judges, and it was hilarious.
I told you I watched it. It was hilarious. I was
need to
like,
look
I
at
wish
that.
he would let. I asked you if we could do it, and you were like, I'm done with all this. Here go the next. I'm done with all this Darrell Brooks stuff. Is what you said.
Check it
This is
out.
kind of boring.
Not
Though.
able to face
What we gonna
the
say?
accuser.
Okay, so Brooks is actually correct on one hand. The Sixth Amendment does guarantee the accused the right to be confronted with the witnesses against them. And he's also correct that under Wisconsin law, the plaintiff in this case is in fact the state of Wisconsin as they are bringing the complaint against him. But Darrell Brooks' problem is that his rights are not being violated. He has a right to confront witnesses, but he tried to subpoena the state of Wisconsin to testify, and that is impossible. He can't call the state of Wisconsin to the stand because the state of Wisconsin is an entity. It's not a person. They're not a witness. Now, Brooks seemed to argue that, well, okay, the plaintiff is an entity. It's not a person. Remember the sovereign citizen thing? That these charges are somehow invalid. Totally wrong. The Wisconsin legislature supports the state bringing this action. So he can cross-examine any of the state's witnesses, but he has no right nor ability to call the state of Wisconsin or ask any questions about that. Now, this actually does lead me into another example of how Brooks got the law wrong, and that's when during his questioning of witnesses, the prosecution would object to what he was asking, and then he would immediately shout out, grounds, grounds, grounds.
Grounds.
Do you even know the state of Wisconsin? Grounds.
Grounds.
Sustained.
So it would be also fair to state that you are not an injured party in this matter, correct?
Objection asked and answered.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Are you aware what a plaintiff is?
Oh God!
Sustained.
God!
Grounds
Oh,
for
is it?
sustain, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you aware
The guy
of what
said,
a plaintiff is?
"Are you aware of what a plaintiff is?"
It's the eye for me.
Let's see what
Do
else we
you
got.
know? This is what I loved when he did this. He was like this.
You be imitating him pretty good.
That's what he would do. He was like this. So when he was questioning witnesses, he was saying, he was like, I don't think that was my question. Like,
That's terrible.
I didn't really ask that. I was like, what is
Oh, he
right?
did that?
Yes, he did that to Nicholas Kirby.
Oh wow! I don't think I saw that one.
Nicholas Kirby was the one that was walking with Miss Corey and Erica Patterson, or Peterson, whatever.
I don't think I seen that.
I watched it all, man.
Let's say at MA, I told my daughter the judge must have 4 toddlers at home for her. Yeah, that patience. Yeah, she got it. She got to have some.
She must want that
evidence.
paycheck. 'Cause Mama was not about to let him mess it up. Let's
That's
see what
funny.
Elcar has to say.
I bet he be representing people in jail for the honey buns and noodles he had. He be arguing jail rules in court. You know what? Like,
That's where he gets himself in trouble.
yeah.
I bet you everybody that hired him got their money back. He probably was in that courthouse, in that jail, like, boy, when I get out of here, I got your back. Go ahead and give me some. I need some stuff. And they're like, you lost. Give us our money back. I need my honey buns back.
Yeah, the way that he was going back and forth over what was it? What was he talking about? The pictures or something like that.
That was
the
funny.
pictures from his baby mama or something. I think. Let me go back. So we. You want to put up another?
Yeah, just stay on that, and I'll pull it up on your phone.
Okay. So.
But you go ahead and talk to people.
Yeah. Hey, so while we taking a what do you call it, intermission? Let us know where y'all are coming in from. What states, what city, where y'all from? M.A., Elcar, Donna. Who else in here? Let us know where y'all coming in from. We about to find the next video because that one was a little. It was a little bull.
I mean, I like when we just do our own reactions. I do like listening to the attorneys, but it just kind of like we're just staring at this, and it's like we don't need to like watch this with y'all. Like we could have all watched it and then came back together. Like what are we all looking at this together for?
It makes sense.
Kind of just like us staring. All right, I think we should. So one of our comments the other day was like they really wanted to see our thoughts on his closing arguments.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
But it's very long closing arguments, so we're going to have to skip around.
Okay.
But there's this very specific, Brunswick, Georgia. Cool, Donna.
Oh, nice.
There was a part.
What?
There was a part where he said some real objective stuff. So let's just go ahead and get started there.
Okay. Let me,
Go ahead.
I apologize.
Oops. I just
Provided
did
to
not
me,
get
which
started
was
there.
an email.
Go back. I made a mistake.
one sec. Switching it up.
Go ahead.
Muskegon.
I apologize. May I?
Muskegon, Minnesota? Is that what that is?
All right, let's get it popping. It says Michigan.
What?
Is it MI Michigan?
Oh, maybe.
Wisconsin.
Nice. Oh, wait. How close, right fast? How close is, Craig, where you at? Was that Mustang? How close is that to, what do you call it, babe? Waukesha?
Waukesha.
How close are those? All right, let's go ahead and go back. Oops. Okay.
Ask the court to consider perhaps an alternative, and I fully respect the.
Well, fast forward, because actually, no, this is like unnecessary for us to listen to real quick. Because he's about to get started.
Reconsider.
I reject that ruling and take exception to that.
Sorry, let me just.
Make that final determination.
All right, let's get
And
started.
if you continue in a blatant disregard of the requirement that you not reference in any way jury nullification, I may make that final determination outside the presence of the jury.
I object to that, Your
You hear
Honor.
what she said?
All right.
I missed it.
They're talking about nullification.
And then have him present from the other courtroom would be the second step. And then objection is noted for the record. That will be the course of action that this court takes. The first time you violate the rule, you may be subject to forfeiting your right to be present, where you will give the closing argument from the other courtroom. And if you continue in a blatant disregard of the requirement that you not reference in any way jury nullification, I may make that final determination.
And he still
outside
brought
the
up jury
presence.
nullification.
I object to that, Your Honor.
All right, with that, let's bring the jury
For the
out.
record, may I respectfully request a legal reconsideration of your ruling? So is that a tacit agreement that you don't have to answer my objection, Your Honor?
It's the confidence in
Decline
y'all.
to reconsider.
I reject that ruling and take
Hold on, let me see
exception, Your
what
Honor.
she said.
I decline to reconsider.
I reject that ruling and take exception to that ruling, Your Honor.
Noted
So?
for the record.
For the record, may I request a legal or factual basis for your ruling, Your Honor?
No.
Denied.
I loved her responses right now.
For the record, may I respectfully request a written judicial finding of facts and conclusion of law on this issue, Your Honor?
Denied.
For the record, may I respectfully move for interlocutory declaratory appeal on this matter?
I'm not the court to address that.
For the record, may I move to stay these proceedings until this instant matter is adjudicated by a court of competent jurisdiction, which this court has no subject matter jurisdiction
Denied.
under,
The jury's
based on
coming
what
in.
law or
All
facts?
rise.
He was gonna keep going. He's like, I got this all written out for y'all.
I want to say, thank you, Craig. You're awesome for being here with us. So
Craig.
that's actually that's a lot more as far as in depth than I thought that someone of his capacity would go.
What do you mean? He just got those from he just copied that. I'm tired of y'all giving this man credit. All he did was copy that and just
yo, what you talking about?
people. There's like someone that remember the comments in live. They were like, "He's actually very intelligent," and then intelligent. I'm like, he ain't smart.
I'm not saying.
He's a fool.
It's not like he made it up, but I'm
He
saying.
read it.
Okay.
Tell me. Go ahead.
To know that so it's one thing to have a comeback, and then to have a response to the comeback, and the response to the rejection, and then the next rejection, and then the continuous rejections that he's having, to have something aligned to continue to respond with. Like, he seems like a combative person in general, so maybe that's like where it's come from. It's like, okay, they're gonna tell me no like 5 times, so let me come up with something that I could respond to like 5 times. It's just interesting.
Well, I will tell you, because you didn't watch it, he did that every time, all the time. Because all he did was take the notes of his previous attorneys and then read from it and just respond the way he wanted to respond. So he just had all that stuff ready to go, and then just kept going. A super Randy Starr.
Say what?
Super Randy Starr says, Waukesha.
Wow. Waukesha.
But then I feel like it still says Waukesha. It could still be Waukesha. I don't know. It's Waukesha. But I like when we say Waukesha. Put a little flavor on it.
Oh, let's keep it going.
For the jury, please.
Based on what law or fact? Because I'm going to inform the jury of their power.
He reminds
They
me of
deserve to know.
Dwayne.
Yes. Especially right there. I'm gonna fast forward a bit.
That I
Oh,
believe
excuse
that
me.
you guys should be letting you guys know that first off, I'd just like to start by letting you guys know that it's a lot of information that you guys should be privy to, I believe.
Real quick, because I just want to make sure if you guys haven't seen this before, I'm going to go to the main one real quick because this is important. So if you haven't seen this before, what him and the judge were arguing before was about jury nullification. I'm sure if you're following us, you've probably been watching all types of videos about this already. So if you already know, cool. But to Najee, I don't think you know.
I don't know nothing.
Okay. So at least I got someone to tell it to. So basically, he's wanting to bring up jury nullification. You're not allowed to bring up jury nullification in the courtroom. Jury nullification basically means you can technically be like, we don't care if he's guilty or not. We're not going to make him guilty. We're going to bypass the law. We're going to tell him, we're going to say, you know what? We're going to nullify the law because as a representation of his people, we're going to tell him, we're going to say that we don't care what the evidence said. We don't care nothing. We can just make him not guilty and go free just because. Now, the reason why this is actually something that could happen, because what if it's like a political statement or they're trying to make a stand against something. So like that actually can happen, but you're not allowed to be advised on it by any attorneys or in the courtroom. But if someone happened to know about it, they could technically bring it up, I guess. Now, if there's anybody that actually knows this even in more detail, correct me, put in the comments if I'm missing something about it. But that's just my high level understanding of it with no legal degree or understanding. Just what I watched.
So you saying like they can make a political statement if they want? Let's just say it was like something, the court case was something like controversial, and then they were on the side of the people or something like that, or whoever the individual being accused. So they can all just agree. But like, what percentage has to agree based off of? I wonder if it's still like the regular ruling.
I don't know, but he
that's
keeps wanting to tell them about it, but I don't know if it's illegal to tell them or you're just not allowed to, but she made a ruling that you cannot bring it up.
Interesting.
And he keeps wanting to bring it up. And she said, if you bring it up It'll be stricken from the record. You'll be kicked out. You can't, you won't be able to give your closing arguments in front of them. All this other stuff. So that's why he wants to bring it up, because he's like, and I will tell them, because they need to know that they can basically make this all go away for him.
You know what? Okay, so this is making a little bit more sense as far as like his arguments, but not his actions or behaviors. Like, had he behaved a little bit better and him knowing the information that he was armed with, like it could have possibly went into like his favor with, unfortunately, right?
They wouldn't have known about jury nullification.
Right, but I'm saying like had he brought it up first, right? And then she said that he can't. So had he brought up something where it was, not directly, it seems like he did some sort of like some sort of like research that involved when it comes to like how he can get away with certain things, but the behaviors was just pathetic. But anyways, that's interesting. I did not know that.
So that hopefully makes a little bit more sense as to why they're going back and forth so much.
You guys know that it's a lot of information that you guys should be privy to, I believe.
Like how you can make me go free.
And, one thing that I believe that you have not been privy to is the truth of your rights and your duties, being the jury. The fact that you and you alone have the power, not well-prepared DAs with well-prepared and clearly rehearsed speeches and exhibits.
They're supposed to be rehearsed,
a lot
stupid.
of theatrics. Frankly, not the judge.
And that's where I think his little silly ass, like, I get it. Like, he was trying to be on his best behavior for the jury, I guess, and then acted like really turned up with the judge. But she's going to be the one that's helping with the sentencing, and she could have been a lot more help to him, even though she did everything. Hey, Heather. Just want to stop by and say hi. Oh, let me go in here. Hey guys, just wanted to stop in and say hi. Sorry I'm missing tonight. I'll check out the replay later. I have my little granddaughter Cora for a sleepover with her Mimi. So sweet. All right, Heather. We'll miss you, girl. Tell little sweet baby Cora we said hi. All right, isn't it like these people in the tribes in the U.S. where if they, oh gosh, let me just click this. Where if they commit a crime on tribal land versus state land, the tribes have their own police and court. Something like that. But don't get me to quoting Elcar, because I could be really messing that up. But I believe that is kind of the case. So, all right. Donna, good night, guys. Love your channel. Have to get a few things done before turning in for the night. Bye, Donna. It was nice having you. And you were with us right from the beginning, girls. Thank you. All right, let's get going. Back to this.
You and you alone have the power. You and you alone decide what is truth and what isn't truth. You should be informed that
She waiting for him.
you have the power
Mess up.
to nullify any law that you don't agree with.
Objection, move to strike his statement.
He still said it. They made it so abundantly clear with threats and everything. And this man, who has no respect for authority, no respect for the law, no respect for anybody, still violated it after they just said, do not do. They said it. They've been saying it for days. He said, I will say it. Like you make it so
That's
clear. You make it so clear how much you have no respect for the law, for rules, or for authority. Why would anyone believe that you did not purposely do what you did and that's how you act?
Yeah.
Like, what reasonable thinking, law-abiding citizen would act like that?
Right. I mean, that's the point right there, though, because when you say law-abiding,
You're not law-abiding. You can't even follow a rule. You can't even follow a simple rule. This ain't fucking high school? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Because that was his game plan all along. Like that was his one escape route, right? And it's like somebody was standing in front of the entry, the exit to the cave, and they like, don't come down here. He's like, I'm a run through it
barrel
anyway.
through it, baby. I gotta get through somehow.
I gotta get through it.
And it's like there's a door that way, so you didn't have to do all that. Like that's how I feel like it's going. I mean, but all right, let's get him back. Let's get him back. It's so funny how, guys, just real quick before I start though, our lives are really real reactions. At least that first one was. And yesterday we did a real live reaction, and in the beginning of our live reaction, we had like a different video and realized it kind of wasn't doing what it was supposed to do for us.
Yeah.
So
kind of like this one.
today we gotta roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? So here we are.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it going.
The record, the last.
I'm gonna back it up a little.
To nullify any law that you don't agree with.
To nullify any law you don't agree with.
Sustained.
Objection.
I will strike from the record the last statement made by the defendant. The jury will disregard it.
Which is clearly what I've been saying. I believe that not only is it fair, but it's essential that you be privy to all knowledge.
He's still going.
Not knowledge that certain people feel that you should hear and shouldn't hear.
It's the mouth for me.
Disguised under the color of law. The fact of the matter is,
She's pissed.
just like I did with my opening statements, I don't have a well-prepared or rehearsed speech. I didn't look in the mirror and say certain points to myself over and over again to make sure I have them right or anything like that. I've chosen to speak from the heart.
What heart?
In my opening statements, and now I'm going to speak from the heart.
Heart of his ass. Sorry. Guys, so we can't watch this entire thing. I'm going to have to fast forward a little bit. I'll have to fast forward a little bit, but so Najee can answer this one. Elcar says...
Side note, don't the guy look like Bobby Brown that be behind him in and out of the court?
Najee know who that is.
I mean, I don't know him like personally, but
Obviously.
for their knowledge, they don't know.
You're right.
So there's another YouTuber named Anton Daniels, and basically he has different people like on his panel, but also like his shows or whatever. So the guy, his name is Jay Prince that you're talking about, Elcar, and he be on that other YouTuber's page or whatever. And I saw him a couple of times on there. But now that you brought that up, he does kind of resemble.
I don't see Bobby Brown at all, but I mean,
like from mine, maybe if I saw him face like side by side, who knows? But yeah, he does.
Well, if you both agree, then what can I say? But I don't know. I didn't really like the guy sitting behind him just from the one little interview I saw with him. Mm-hmm. He said he's there to make sure everything's being done fairly and that, the guy gets a fair trial. And it's like,
I don't know. I didn't see that. I didn't look into all the details.
I was like, what do you mean?
But
you want to make sure he gets a fair trial.
Interesting.
A fair trial? Never mind. I was about to get in trouble.
What me do is argue facts. And the reason you won't hear me argue facts is because I believe that it takes away from what should be recognized. The tragedy of this event. It should be recognized. Trying to argue facts of this, facts of that, I'm not going to waste your time doing that.
You wasted 3 weeks of their time. What are you talking about? You should just plead guilty.
That's how long it lasted.
Yeah.
It's a little emotional. I apologize for the long pause.
Boy, you just think about your next lie. Shut up. Go ahead. I'm a little emotional.
Like, kill time.
Like,
What can I say?
that's gas.
Let me kill
You're
time.
fine. Like, nothing's wrong with you. You just trying to figure. He's like, think.
What else?
Think. Like,
What else?
Oh, I'm so hurt. Like, get out of here. Like, stop. Babe, go ahead and give him some thoughts real quick while I fast forward.
So, it's interesting. You know what always brings me back is the fact that how it was like, it's interesting because of his thoughts and like the things that he's saying. Hold on a bit. Oh, God.
Stop scratching yourself so hard. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Mosquito bite.
Stop.
So
God,
what's
made me
interesting is how I brought up like the different situations and the different things that he's bringing up, whatever. Like how he had all these, and in my mind, the way that he's been acting, it keeps making me think that he's like really young. So that's why I keep saying like, oh, it's interesting. Like he's getting all these, it's interesting that he knows or have researched certain things to say.
You're
But
giving
then,
him kudos thinking he's like 27.
exactly,
Like,
or
good job,
younger
guy.
or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, you a fool, but at least you like came up with all your lies and stuff ahead of time. But then at the same time, it's like, oh wait, this fool 40.
Right, like
you
you're a
should know
grown
something.
man. Like, but I don't think he knows anything. I just think like the guy sitting behind him talking about someone trying to make sure he has a fair trial. Like that guy probably gave him like a whole Google sheet or something. I don't know. I don't trust this man.
I mean, the crazy thing about what you just said is the fact that they do have that type of stuff, like courtroom cheat sheets and
Right, that's what he's
like that
looking
type of
at.
stuff, whatever. It's interesting,
I feel like I'm really struggling here, and I keep going through something in front of everybody. I'm so embarrassed.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Let roll.
Okay.
How can you look at somebody's head and say, this is what they intended to do?
Easy.
For
He's trying to cry.
for
He's
a
trying
year,
so hard.
I've sat and gone through this. Feeling so powerless.
Beautiful thing that man has ever said. Feeling so powerless. That's all he cares about is his lack of power right now.
Letting other people run with the narratives. Sitting back helpless while other people paint a picture that has zero truth.
Zero truth.
Zero. I understand about healing myself, tragedy, pain, all that. A lot of it, there's no need to get into.
Would have probably helped you. Dig deep, brother.
I myself in my own life have had to do a lot of healing.
Probably from all the harm you've caused.
As a man with children myself. I find it hard to believe that anyone who's really had conversations with me, spent time around me, would think for 1 second that this is an intentional act.
Darrell.
Darrell. So, quick question, right quick. So, did his subject or did his line of defense change? Because wasn't he originally saying that he didn't do it? Wasn't he saying that it wasn't him at all? So now, from what he's saying, it's like
No,
it
he
wasn't
said
on
not
purpose.
guilty by insanity, and then he said so he's gonna get to what his defense is, but he basically was saying that he didn't do it the way they're saying he did it is what he was trying to say. You don't be accidentally just like, whoa, like oops, My hand just got you a little, wow. Like she said,
My finger
you,
slipped.
she said you beat her on November 20th. Then you beat her on November 21st. Then you questioned her and asked her, well, if I beat you on the 20th, why didn't you go to police then? Why didn't you tell nobody then? Because you beat my ass all the time at this point. I'm just like, fuck it. The only reason why it happened on the 21st is because there was witnesses and her friends were there and they called the cops.
Wait, he said...
He asked his own baby mama's ex-girlfriend, why did you not call the cops if supposedly?
That's crazy.
All right, so listen. Your representation, you say if you ask anybody that knows me, sir, people that know you were on the damn stand. And then what was also on this brought into evidence was your bizarre, crazy, wild rap video with you and semi-automatic weapons for who we don't know. And you just up in there, charging it up, like acting crazy and looking like someone that would intentionally harm others. So I'm glad we already know what came from this, which is that the jury never believed it. But I was like, this fool really trying to, like, he's probably pinching the shit out of that little piece of skin right there in his hand to get himself to tear up. He's like, come on, make it hurt. Trying to get tears to flow. Because I'm like, bruh, like, stop. Just stop. I'm going to have to fast forward again, though.
I've never heard of someone intentionally trying to hurt someone while attempting to blow their horn. While attempting to alert people of their presence.
Oh, this is not funny. I should not
Which
laugh.
brings me to more information that I believe that you should have been privy to. And I'm sure that the prosecution will beg to differ. But the fact of the matter is, the vehicle in question, make and model of 2010, Ford Escape. The vehicle in question, actually 2008, 2009, and 2010 of that model was in fact recalled.
Objection, misstatement of the facts, facts not in evidence.
Actually 2008, 2009, and 2010 of that model was in fact recalled.
Objection, misstatement of the facts, facts not in evidence.
Was in fact-
Improper argument, Your Honor.
Sustained.
He's still going.
Was in fact recalled.
Still going.
Was in fact a class action lawsuit against Ford
Objection,
for those
facts not in
models,
evidence,
for
Your
those
Honor.
model vehicles.
Sustained, the jury will disregard.
Information that
He's still going.
you should have been privy to, that you weren't allowed to be privy to. Why? I don't know.
So let me tell you, when I was watching this live, he almost got me with that. Now we did all these videos going in on this man, talking shit, telling all this stuff, and I was like, wait, what? What you mean Ford had acceleration issues and they had a class action lawsuit and they couldn't stop, the cars couldn't stop? I was like, oh, I was like, let me see if this, and I was like, at first, my first response was like, boy, shut up, you Joe lying ass. And then I started Googling it. I was like, oh, this shit really happened. It really was like 2009, 8, 10 Ford car, SUVs that had acceleration issues. And I was like, now this man's been acting a fool this entire time. But I really was like, holy shit, could that have been it? And I was like, but then, thank the Lord, more research came out because I started feeling real funny. I was like, damn, I mean, he put real doubt in my mind. Like, and I was like, if he put doubt in my mind, and I was 1000% against his ass, I was like, put him on a torch, okay? And then I was like, wait a minute, if that happened, then oh my God, he could. I was like, then he's gonna get the jury's gonna be like, I know we're supposed to dismiss that, but I couldn't stop thinking about it for like 2 hours. I was like, oh my God, the man may have had an actual problem with this car. I don't know. But then I found more information and more specifics about the car he had. And that car had never had any mechanical issues like that. That car did not have a mechanical issue like that. They went and checked it. And it was something about there was some more information specific to the acceleration issues of the car. And then lastly, the reason why it was never brought into evidence, or that he never could bring into evidence, because he had no proof that his car had that issue. So I guess it got denied. I might be saying this incorrectly, but it was never brought into evidence because it couldn't be brought into evidence, or probably because he fucked up the way it could come into evidence. But there was no validity to it when he said that, because I was like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean,
it really did almost fuck me up.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because even then, like, just listen to it, I did hear him say, like, I didn't hear him say specifically that what he just said. That's my first time hearing him say that. But I have heard people saying things about, like, how, you know, the car situation that he brought up was not really relevant because of this or that or whatever. So I didn't really hear the specifics. But as someone that has owned over 15 vehicles, I've had my fair share of recalls, right? So instantly it sparked a
level of understanding.
Right, because it's like, oh, wait a minute. But then at the same time, I'm like, we got to keep about the specifics, like,
but even
all moments that the car could have been needing the recall, right? Or that it could have, like, had that issue. Why at that time and that moment, you know, like, if all time, like, it just happened to align that way, even if it did have that issue.
Well, I was gonna say, there's too much proof of him looking like he didn't just run over people when he did, like doing like this, like. There's too much proof of the fact that he just kept going. He didn't try to swerve. He didn't try to turn. I mean, if I personally was about to hit somebody, I know for a fact I would actually swerve my car, and possibly, God forbid, something even worse happens to me than me accidentally killing a child or a person. I mean, now if even if it was a raccoon, I'd be like, oh, like, you know, like, it don't matter what's going on. I try to move away from accidentally hurting somebody or something.
Like, I've been in situations like that where people were like, if you're driving, right, and people were like swerve into your lane, and I'll swerve out of my lane trying to not hit this vehicle. Although even if I just stayed in my lane and let them hit me, they'll be in the wrong, right? But, like, there's been moments where your knee-jerk reaction is to, like, just avoid the collision.
Right.
So automatically you would think that if that's the case, let's just say you can't stop the vehicle because of the acceleration issue, or let's just say it's completely valid. What stopped you from either, let's just say he did, right? Worst case scenario, he did hit those people he did, right? It's proven. But I'm saying, let's just say he did exactly what he did, and then at some point stop the vehicle, or like curb the vehicle, or whatever. Do whatever you gotta do to get back to the scene that you just went through. You in that vehicle, you experiencing what you just went through. What made you then make the decision to continue on with your path to your destination?
But not even just that.
Of hitting 60 plus people?
Right.
Even if it was one, what made you think that, okay, I just did this. This was a fucking traumatic situation. The first thing I need to do is, like, make sure that it's not like a hit or run. Make sure that, you know what I mean? And again, we can always change things up or say what we could do and would do in retrospect. But at the same time, in that moment, if you've never been in a situation like that or whatever, what makes you think? What do you say?
Right, what makes you think?
What makes you think that you shouldn't avoid whatever the repercussions is if you know you just went through 60 people?
Well, then you run off, you change clothes, you take off, you try to hide.
I didn't know all that.
He ran off, took his hoodie off, took his shoes off, so he would look different. Started walking around trying to find somebody with their phone to get an Uber to hurry up and get out of town.
Damn.
Like, bruh, and he went, like, he did that. He stopped with multiple people trying to get their phones asking if he could call an Uber. Then he was calling his mother with the phone. So little Darrell was fucking up.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Yeah, he was trying to run.
That information, malfunctioning throttle bodies.
Mr. Brooks, move on.
It's information that you should have been privy to.
He's still on it.
Vehicles that malfunction and accelerate not being able to be stopped.
Objection, that is.
It's information. It's information.
Wait. So when did the vehicle stop?
I don't know.
Like, was he not able to park it at one
After
point?
even when he was done, killing everybody with it, he was still driving it. So I don't know.
Right. At some point, you had to have stopped the vehicle. So what makes you think that, as opposed to stopping and going back to the vehicle, why not go back to the scene of all the situations, like changing clothes and all that, and switching up the whole, and that's just crazy.
I'm gonna move on a little bit because I feel like it's such a long one. So
that is just crazy.
Characterize that.
Look at the one in the
How
middle.
can you
She's
have
like,
the
boy, shut up.
audacity to diagnose what someone's brain is, where it's at, what it's thinking, why it thinks the way it does? DA makes references to blocks of no one being injured, but then says it's intentional. You add that up with the supposed rage, the supposed intent to harm and kill.
Kill.
And it doesn't kick in until well within blocks. And maybe it's just me, but I would think if I was characterizing someone with this intent to kill and this rage and this anger.
You have a lot of rage and anger.
Then why weren't people immediately harmed?
The same way we weren't immediately harmed when you first came on the court, motherfucker. Okay? The same way who cares? You like to warm up. I don't care that you like to warm up before you start acting a damn fool. Doesn't mean nothing to me. I mean, what?
Like, let's just say everything that he said is true, right? Let's just say, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he did not mean and intend to do all those things. What explains everything after that? Like, what explains what you just said? Trying to get an Uber, trying to do all these things to get out of town, switching clothes, right? What explains what you said about him, about the people trying to pinpoint if that was him or not in the vehicle, and tracing the vehicle to the car, the music video, saying it was the same vehicle, and saying this wasn't him? Did it not happen or not? It happened, right?
Yeah, the man said, the man was like, how do you know that's me? Like, how, like, what, that can you tell me in this picture that that's me? It's like, motherfucker. Like,
so what explains that? It's like you're changing up multiple stories. First you're saying it's not you, and then it's like, all right, fuck it, it was me. All right, so what makes you think that it wasn't me? What makes you think that I did it on purpose? Like,
so
it's
first of
too
all,
many different things.
I agree, because his first plea was not guilty by reason of insanity. So it's like, you weren't saying not guilty because acceleration issues. You were saying not guilty because of reason of insanity. You were saying not guilty
I know what it is.
Go ahead.
That was to your point. What? Because that specific thing, it wasn't. It wasn't insanity. He was saying not guilty because I was high. I was high. And then
I was what?
High.
Where do you get that from? Oh, okay.
What he said, like insanity. If that's what he pleaded originally, it was insanity or he was drunk. And then once he got unhigh, he realized that it wasn't okay. So now that I'm unhigh, I realized what it was. It was the vehicle's fault. It wasn't me. It was the vehicle's fault.
Where are you getting the high from?
because you plead an insanity.
What does that mean with high? What does that mean?
What I'm saying is he was never like insane, as opposed to saying that he was high or drunk or something like that. He used the insanity plea because it was what it has to be. If you're in that situation, he was never insane. The guy is not an insane
Baby,
individual.
let's. Like he wasn't insane. He was. I don't know what the man. I just know he's stupid. That's all I know. I don't know if he was high. I don't know. All right, you're saying he came down from his high and
It was a joke. Go ahead.
it's
Why
hard
would
for me
someone
to
with
catch.
intent to kill and rage try to alert
That's what I was
people
trying to say. Actually, before when he keeps talking about where's all this rage come from? What's all this stuff you're talking about, sir? Let's be real. The rage you showed in this court case, just off of basic shit from a very polite woman, that judge never did nothing disrespectful or rude or anything like that. She just simply did her job. And you stared at her like you was looking at, trying to stare into her soul so you could go in there and fight it and kill it too. Like you literally were trying your damnedest to let her know how much you hated her with your eyeballs. You did everything possible to be disruptive, mean, disrespectful, and angry. You were so angry throughout this entire thing, and you're trying to get these people to believe that you don't have anger problems? Like, stop. Like, yes, you do.
repeatedly honk their horn. You heard the
Fast
detective,
forward, guys.
as she says, if that was their intent, wouldn't they have taken the opportunity to hit as many people as they could?
Maybe not.
That she's asking, and still continue to shield her from what she sees, what she hears.
I'm going to back this up just a little bit, guys, because I don't know what he's talking about.
Answer the questions from my daughter, who was 7 at the time, my baby girl, who was 7 at the time, is now 8. Attempting to answer her questions that she's asking, and still continue to shield her from what she sees, what she hears.
Is that the first time she's heard your voice in like 7 years?
Having a newborn son that I haven't.
Wait a minute. Hold on. How does he have a newborn son and him and Erica Patterson were in a committed relationship on the day he got arrested? That's weird. I never listen.
Even been able to meet. Haven't been able to hold, touch, kiss.
What do you think Jackson's parents are feeling? You selfish piece of shit. What do you think Jackson's parents feel about their
Having to
8-year-old?
navigate everything that comes with this whole situation. While still attempting to wrap my head around it.
Don't wrap your head around yourself, baby. That'll hurt. Listen, babe. He owes about $40,000 in child support. And he ain't seen his kids in years. He barely has a relationship with them, but now he want to use them as his defense.
He pulling all the
You
tricks
don't
out the hat.
take care of your children. You have children with minors. You're a registered sex offender. Sorry, I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad for Jackson's parents that actually don't get to see their child like grow up and play fucking soccer. I feel bad for Jackson's parents who don't get to see him go to high school, college, get a degree, become an attorney, a doctor, or just whatever. Even if he was a damn burger flipper, it was his life if he could do whatever he wanted to do with it. And his parents don't get to see him do that shit. And you'll still be alive. Like I said before, you'll still be alive. And your kids can come visit you in that little block, that little cell that you'll be in behind the glass. And that's better than them never knowing you. So
It's interesting. It's like, even with those type of moments, and again, maybe this is just thinking from the outside perspective, but like nobody is having sympathy for your situation.
Right.
If you're gonna do that, at least do it from your child's perspective. Let's just say the worst case scenario, right? Like if you're gonna be in that moment of what he's saying right now, put it from my newborn baby would never know what it's like for his father to hold or something, or my child would never know what it's like for me to be there at her, you know, sports games or something. Like bring it as if you're coming from the child's perspective of you not being in it. Not about your selfish intent when you know that you haven't been in the child's life at all.
But it's still
right?
it's still kind of selfish.
It still
because
is,
your children have been missing out on having a father, whether your ass was in jail or not. You're lying. Your kids have missed out at you being at the baseball games and being there. You have children in like multiple different states because he was slinging that thing around everywhere. I mean, they didn't have nothing with his ass anyway.
I know. What I'm saying is, even in those closing moments, it's still specifically about him. Even obviously, he has no care for the people that have no more life, right? Or even that were just harmed in any way.
There's no empathy there at all.
Like in the moment, even with him being. Like even in his moments of where he's giving his last closing statements, it's still like about what he can't do. It's not about like even like his children. Like that would be what you would think would be, reasonable a little bit more, is to see why it would be beneficial for his children to still have him in their life. But he's talking about that he won't be able to touch his newborn. He won't be able to kiss his child, and he won't be able to do these things. Not what what his children are missing. Even though regardless of what, it's still bad because he should be focused on the people that are no longer here and that were harmed and affected by the situation, but I talked about that in the previous videos, but I'm just saying even in this moment specifically, it's still like what he won't get the chance to do versus
right, it's all about
what
him.
his children at least even won't have anymore. Let's see what we have. To clarify, those pictures was of his daughter by Erica and they grandbaby, and Erica been running from him. The bond jumping. It's too small. I can't see. I started to think that I'm
honestly. Let me read it because I can read it fine. Okay.
Maybe too much.
To clarify, those pictures were of his daughter by Erica and their grandbaby. And Erica has been running from him. And the bond jumping was for running her over in 2019, I guess. They were toxic as fuck. So what I do is I kind of read it the way I talk a little bit better. It just makes it come out better for me. But I hear you, Lakar. So he ran her over in 2019. So he used to running people over. Now I didn't know that shit.
Wait, what?
Did you just say? Look, I just hit me late. Did you just say he got it? What? Did you just say that he went to jail before for running somebody over? Not just somebody, but his baby mama, the mother of his child in 2019. Baby, we need to fact check that one.
I had too much wine for my reactions right now.
I've had one too many drinks. Did Darrell? I need to fact check that one before I move on. Read it out loud so that the people can hear it too, baby.
They see it. Interesting. I don't know. That would be horrible because I don't think that was brought up. I don't know if that was actually brought up in this situation. Well, first of all, I can't say that wasn't brought up because I haven't even been watching any of the cases except for only when we've been watching them with you all. So maybe somebody say I plead the fifth. Grounds. Interesting. They was toxic. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I do not know. Let me make sure we ain't missed any.
Oh my God. Darrell Brooks' mother elaborates on whether he ran over his girlfriend, Erica Patterson, deliberately or not. He really ran this woman over.
So this is his second.
Oh
we gotta
my my
that.
God. Now that I did not know.
We gotta play that.
Well, we were in the middle of this one. You want to do it in a second or just stop? Because the comment crazy. I mean,
Appreciate the insight, Lacar. Let's check this out. Hold on. Turn this side.
I got you.
You think he should have been released at that time?
I don't think they should have released him, even though I did post the bail. But I post the bail because Erica Patterson, his girlfriend, I asked her personally, I called her personally, and I asked her, did he deliberately run over you? And I told her what the police told me. I'm asking you, did he deliberately do that? She told me no, that was not deliberate.
Well, she's lied before.
Wait, let me see something right fast.
What?
4 weeks ago. That's interesting. I wonder why, like, her face was cut off.
I'll tell you why. I know why. I know why. I know. This is before it was public who she was and what she looked like. So she didn't want the attention that was coming, that was so negative. And she was she was blocking herself out. The mother was blocking herself out from being seen at first. Then she allowed herself to be on with a mask and something covering her hair, and then she finally just came out. So here's the thing about what she just said. So I did not know that. Elcar, you put us on. I did not know that.
I've never heard that.
And that is wild. But what's crazy is, I mean, this is why the man is guilty, because he's done these things. He has hurt people before, and he doesn't mind doing it, not even if it's the mother of his child. And I don't believe what Erica says, because Erica actually was on record with trying to dismiss and act like something happened to her that didn't happen to her. So let's just say, like, there's video footage of that police officer that found them and said, did someone hit you? She said, no, he didn't hit me. He did not assault me. And she had a black eye. So she's used to just trying to protect him and save him, like a lot of victims are, where they don't want to deal with the consequences of everything that's going to come from it. What are you laughing about?
What? It's sad. But what car did he hit her with?
I hope not the damn.
Was it the same red car?
That's not funny.
It's not funny, but I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? You out here thugging in your rap videos at 40, right? You out here thugging in your rap videos at 40. Which is a young man's game to do the type of videos he did. On top of that, it's horribly done. On top of that,
horribly done.
On top of that,
poorly made.
You ran somebody over previous to this situation. Was this brought up at all inside the court?
Like I said, Buddy likes doing warm-ups.
Was this brought up at all inside the court?
It says it right here. She just said it.
I didn't read it yet.
Okay. It says, yes, he did run her over. That was what the bond was for. They mentioned it in court briefly, but not so much to prejudice the jury. That makes sense. Then Lacar says it was certain stuff they couldn't talk about on the record. Court was protecting the record. Got it? Vicky, hey Vicky, Vale. He kept her away from their mutual child, and she has been a neglectful mother due to the toxicity of him and her being mind fucked by him since 14. He was even pimping her out at 14. Now I don't know about that. I gotta fact check that. That sounds crazy too. But I probably believe you. I probably believe you. That's crazy. I mean, I believe on anything at this point.
This is crazy.
Oops. All right, let's get back to this. He's pinching the shit out of his hair. He's trying so hard to cry. Dig deep, brother.
The hardest questions you can ask is those that don't have an answer.
Shut the fuck up. You're not deep.
It's like, damn, what was that line from Boys to Men?
That's
no
what it was.
No matter how much thinking you do, no matter how much you try to look at it from different perspectives and listen to other outside perspectives and listen to people that you trust and that you love, still coming up with nothing.
Because you are nothing. Sorry, that was so mean. I'm sorry.
But to think for 1 second, one question I never had to ask was if this was intentional. That's something that I never asked once.
Well, it ain't our fault that you don't know to ask yourself shit. Anyway, so he was charged with battery for Erica. We now know that. I'm gonna fast forward just a teensy bit so we can get to the next part. Babe, you want to read the comments or you want to keep moving?
Yeah, you can pull them up.
Comments or keep moving?
Pull up the comments.
Okay. I'm gonna be your eyes, baby. Don't you worry. Maxim Cypher said, shouldn't have released him yet. You bonded him out. This mother makes no sense. I am not mad at you there because that does not make any sense to me. Maxim says he was charged with battery. I believe that was battery towards Erica. Elcar says Erica even protected him when the state called her as a witness before Darrell called her. And yes, I think it was the same car. Broke her leg and he beat women.
Wow.
Wait,
broke her leg. God
well,
damn.
You run me over with a car, it's definitely gonna break my leg. I'd be done. Vicky said there is also an old social media post of him admitting to pimping Erica out, saying that she lied about her age. The charge for pimping in Nevada would be a life sentence, so he pled down to statutory.
Wow.
That's how it all started. He was pimping her in Vegas, and he was like 25 when she was 14. Y'all know all the juice.
Yeah, broadcast.
Y'all know all the damn tea.
That is crazy.
But is it fact checkable? I'm about to look this shit up. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. They've not been wrong yet. This is crazy. Yeah. I mean,
they ain't making it up. That's for sure.
I know they heard it from, but I like to be able to say that is a fact. But that's crazy.
I think just from the fact that what was it? That he brought up that huge point, which is he's ran people over before.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild. Like, you ran people over. Like, how many people have ran over multiple people, or not even multiple people, but multiple instances of running over somebody in their life more than once? And then we're supposed to
I know a lot of people that be running over roadkill, like they just be like looking for the bunnies.
Yeah, but raccoons. A human being, because a lot of humans they don't view the same. They don't view that the same. That's just not fair. Crazy. I ain't saying it is.
Stop looking at me. Sorry. Say something, Blue Darrell.
That's how I was raised. That's what I believe. Anyone else but me, myself, I believe in Jesus Christ.
Jesus don't believe in you. Oh, that's a lie. I'm sorry. I should say that.
That's how I was raised. That's what I believe in.
Did you believe in him when you was plowing people down?
None of us are perfect.
You're really not perfect.
But I try every day to make sure that I acknowledge him. That's why every time I step in this courtroom, I have my Bible with me.
It be upside down half the time.
I even read it on breaks, recesses. This is not something that started at the beginning of this incident. This is something that has been instilled in me since I came out of the womb. This is how my family lives their life. This is how we was raised.
What a farce. I don't see not one tear.
It was just boogers.
Just boogers.
For whatever mistakes that I myself have made in my life, I made peace with God. Made peace.
I don't know, my boy.
You seem at.
I'm happy to say that my conscience is clear.
How is your conscience clear? How is your conscience clear?
So
that's some fucked up
if
shit to say.
Maybe he's really convinced himself that he wasn't there on the scene. That's the only thing I can see. Because if you're trying to, yeah, but that's not even manipulation though. Like if you're trying to convince the jury that you feel sorry for the situation that have happened,
he's not,
and you really are trying to get yourself off of this situation, the last words that should come out of your mouth is "my conscience is clear," right? That's the equivalent to saying I ain't did nothing. Basically, he might as well say I ain't do nothing. Let me go home. That's the equivalent to saying your conscience is clear after hitting, even if it was unintentional. How is your conscience clear from hitting not just one individual, but 60 plus people? 60 plus people were hit on that day, and you got the nerve to say your conscience is clear. Not I feel better, not I'm working through this thought process. Here, Reina goes still in my wine again. Not any of that stuff. You got the nerve, all of it at that. You got the nerve to say my conscience is clear. Do you know what clear means? Like eradicate, like remove, like backspace, deletes, like done, like redo, right? Like rewind, like it's a wrap, like it's clear. Like you don't feel nothing about what the hell just happened.
I feel like that actually just kind of pissed you off a little.
Yeah, to say
I don't think I've ever seen you like say so much during these moments.
What I'm saying is like
you
to
really
say,
make your point clear.
Like if you, it don't matter how unintentional it was. Let's just say in his mind it was unintentional. To say your conscience is clear from hitting 60 human beings.
No, you gotta say the first part. The first part he said, I'm happy to say.
Happy at that. Not just my conscience is clear, but happy.
You happy? You happy? You're happy to say.
That is crazy.
Well, you know what? I think that
like people, I'm sorry, babe, but people lost their lives. Like they're no longer here, and you're saying that I'm happy to say. How?
Where's Ruben? Ruben asked that. He said he believed in Jesus Christ and forgot about thou shalt not kill grounds.
Right.
Wait, now that was the first. He said grounds. Grounds. I should have said that. We should have all been yelling grounds at the same time. Maxim asked, have y'all got to the amount of possible years for all the charges? Yes, sir.
Somebody responded.
He has almost 894 years charges. He's gonna be in jail for the next millennium.
Slow down.
There's a male prosecutor. Yes, the male prosecutor made an offer of proof that DB, Darrell Brooks, was pimping Erica out in Nevada. Check the underlying case out of Reno, Nevada.
Reno 911.
El Carr says there's also a video he did while in jail in Nevada saying he was a different person while on meth.
Golly.
Maxim 6 life sentences plus 894 years. Yes, he just felt, Montag said he just felt and feels nothing for the victims. I never seen a sentence like that. Guys, here's my thing. I'm glad that we paused. I just want to say this. I personally have consistently. I feel like it's kind of blurry on me. I don't know. I personally, I said I feel like it's kind of blurry on me.
Come up a little bit.
I don't want to. I just want you to make it better. So, thank you. I feel like I started shivering and shaking on the pavement. I've always struggled with the hypocritical nature that some people participate in with the Christian faith. And I find it extremely insulting and disrespectful for him. Oh, hell no. Don't, baby, look, listen.
Wow.
Hold on, brother. Like, it'll be a whole nother ball game still. My drink.
My wine and won't give it back.
Yes, but I'm the woman. You're supposed to provide for me. Anyway, sorry, y'all. I've always struggled with the mindset that of people using faith, Jesus, their Christianity as an excuse or to be manipulative. It bothers me immensely. Like, it's something I really struggle with. And the reason why is because it's just too serious of a situation, and too many people play around with your faith, and they just play around, and they're not serious, and they use it against people. Because people of strong faith are also, in my opinion, just a little bit gullible. And I think he knows that. So once you start saying anything about Christ, they're like, oh. But it's like, but your actions for your entire adult life are a complete, like, contradiction of that. And now let's just say, I'm not trying to, like, make nothing biblical here. Obviously, someone could go from Saul to Paul, or Paul to Saul, or somebody can be somebody one day and then find Christ and be better. But you claim to have always been this way, and these are your actions that come with it. Like, shut up. But then lastly, to say your conscience is clear, like Najee said, and not to, like, keep it going too long, but it's so incredibly insulting. It's so incredibly disrespectful to the families, to the victims. In his mind, I don't think he realizes how messed up it is for him to say something like that. But it's just another slap in the face of these people. What are you doing?
What?
I was okay. Okay. Anyway, so it's just another slap in the face of these people, these victims and their families. So let's go ahead and get back to it.
And because I believe, I trust him with my life.
Real good. He took your ass right to jail forever. What you crying for then?
Nobody will never know why it was his will for this to happen.
What?
Nobody will never know why it was his will for this to happen.
One more time, Lord.
Nobody will never know why it was his will for this to happen.
It was his will for this to happen. Oh.
A lot of lives were changed that day, mine included. God's way is not our own.
What the fuck is going on?
No matter how much sometimes we want to question, we have to have faith.
Yo, I can't keep listening to this. Are you?
Yeah, it is over.
I can't keep listening to that shit. Did you just say? I know I played it three times, but it keeps going out my head immediately. Did this motherfucker just say? Did he just say nobody will ever know why this was God's will?
For it to happen. I mean, at some point, we just gotta realize, like, what more do you want for this guy? Like, he's done and said everything under the sun that's possible. Like, it's a clown show. Like, I'm not even surprised by Like, I mean, I was over, not, I wouldn't say over. I was reacting to all the different things he was saying, but at this point, it's just like, come on now. Like, we can't expect nothing more at this point. Like, it's
First,
clear.
right,
It's just
right.
ridiculous.
Like, sir, you have free will. Okay, you have free will, and you have. I've always believed that we all have many paths that we can go down. One path can lead to righteousness. One path can lead to you taking your ass straight down to hell and getting your ass whooped by the devil every day. And you chose the wrong path, brother.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and you try to act like this was God's will. No, it was your will.
Yeah.
It was your will. It was your mean, evil, disrespectful, trifling, narcissistic. I'm so powerful. I do what I want. I got guns and rap videos. Ass. It was you.
Yeah.
So I just think, honestly, I don't want to keep watching that one. I did hear he said my conscience is clear. I saw that somewhere. I did not keep watching after that. So that's the first time I heard this motherfucker say it was God's will.
Yeah.
That's too much. Like, you really are really beside yourself. Like, you done lost your goddamn mind.
I mean, the thing
Ruben, shut up.
the thing with
I'm
that,
fucking tired of Ruben. Wait, baby, hold on.
that's fine.
It was God's will. Gross. I really can't stand Ruben. Ruben, what is wrong with you? Oh, I love him. Okay, sorry. Ruben, it was God's will. Gross. Sorry. You don't find that funny, but I did. Okay, go ahead. Somebody else got to laugh with me. Please, y'all. Don't let him play me. Don't let Najee play
Keep
me.
going through 'em.
Okay, sorry. Let's see where we are out. My eyes are literally blurry from starting to cry laughing. All right. Maxim said, you're right. It comes across as false, only using it for sympathy. Priscilla, completely agree. It's a mockery. Ruben says, let's see. 6 life sentences plus 894 years to be over 1,000 years old when he's possibly up for parole. I bet Darrell thinks he has a chance to get out. It's disrespectful, but Brooks knows all about that. Blaming it on divine intervention rather than human flaws. That's right, Montag.
Yeah. It's interesting with that, what you just said, because it's like, actually even going back to what you just brought up, which is, and what this fool said. So talking about, is God's will, and then kind of what you just mentioned, which is the fact that we have free will. And something that people will bring up when we bring up free will is like, we have the path to take whichever path that we want, right? We have the choice, I'll say, to take whichever path that we want. We go down this path, we go down that path. Like, it's a lot of different options, right? And then some people, which would be like probably like his argument, which would be like, well, although you may say that may be the path that we have those choices, the fact that you went down that path was the path that was already designed for you, right? But at the same time, in every single moment, we have the ability to make a decision. Whatever decision that we're making, we can proceed with that decision or stop the decision and go with a different decision or go a different path, right? And make a different move based off of what it is that we're thinking, how we're feeling, our training up until that point, our experience, and our ability to predict what will happen if we make this decision, right? And just our empathy with human beings, So it's like when you're thinking about what you're saying in that moment, to say something like it was God's will, and then on top of that, to think about the fact that at every moment we're leaving an impression on individuals. We're leaving an impression on people. Not just people that's our age group, that are older, but younger. So to say something that is so irresponsible, to say something like it's God's will to younger people that are probably also watching this thing that may be impressionable.
I mean, I'm like, well, it was God's will.
And then to give them the ability to run with it, because everybody don't have the perspective of like being able to decipher what's right from wrong, right? As sad as it may be, but to say something like it's God's will for people to lose their life because of a decision that you made, and then you're blaming it on the vehicle. Then before you blame it on the vehicle, you said that it wasn't even you. Like how you know that was me, and then to say like it's just
it's
ridiculous.
not God's will. It's
it was a choice
will.
that you made that was fucking stupid, and then you tried to run from the decision that you made, and then on top of that, now you're defending it in court. And now you're saying it was God's will at the end of the day, as opposed to saying how you know my intention with it. Now you're saying it was God's will. Now it was God's fault, basically.
How you know God said it was his will?
Like, you speaking for God
First
now?
of all, God's like, hey, bro, get my name out your mouth. Like, hey, lock him up, y'all. I'm gonna send my people to lock his ass up.
God saying grounds.
You can't say how can you think, how can you say what's going on in someone's brain? How do you know what God's saying to you? Because I know you don't have a direct line. I know you don't have a direct line to nobody, to Jesus. Because you are demonic. Like, God didn't tell you nothing.
Like, the one thing that I do not like, and I brought this up to Reina before, is when people say, God said. I do not like, unless it's like something specific, but when people say, God said this, God said that, like, that is something I just do not, like, regardless of what your beliefs are in situations like that, when people make decisions on what they say that God said, like for this, he's saying that God said, it was wine. God's will. And again, I don't want to bring in, we're not going to go religious or anything like that, but the fact that you're making the decision saying that this was God's will, this act that you that you controlled, because this was within your control, and you're saying that this was God's will. Like, come on, man. Come on, son.
Come on, sir. Don't act like that. All right, guys, let's get back to something. We went through some of the comments and put them on the page while we were talking. He's conflating acts of God with the choices of human. He is not a God. Yeah. Pam said, I guess to take responsibility for his actions is impossible for him. I agree, Pam. I think that's the most simplest way to respond to what just happened. He so cannot take responsibility that he would even blame his almighty creator for it. Like, you like, I can't take responsibility for this because it was God's will. What did I have to do with this? You would even put it on God. Like, what is wrong with you?
He's literally saying this is what God wanted. That's the equivalent to what he's saying. If it was his will, then this is what he wanted. Like, how stupid can you sound?
I don't remember Sheriff tasing him in court, Thomas. Now, I need you to post the link. Ludwin showed the sheriff tasing him in court. If you got a link,
drop the link in the
because
comments.
I'll be watching that like this.
If you got the link to it, he's being tased, drop it in the comments. That's interesting.
Miss Priscilla says, now he can't run over any more people. Only his slides in prison.
He'll still try to do it in prison.
He confesses his sins behind Fort Brooks, and it wasn't God's will. Craig, for sure.
Absolutely.
We know that is the case, my friend. It's a shame. Like, this is how disrespectful he is. I will say this. Personally, I know if you guys want to keep watching the video, go ahead and find it's called Darrell Brooks Trial. Brooks gives closing arguments. We got this particular video from Fox 9 Minneapolis, St. Paul. We're done with this video. It's so disrespectful and rude, and just, I mean, I know the whole thing is rude, but I just can't. I can't listen to you say shit like this was God's will, and, you know, only God knows why this happened. No, bitch, you know. And I just don't like it. I just think it's so disrespectful. Right, baby?
Yeah, that's just crazy. Like, when you start, it's like he's literally pulling every single trigger that you have, basically. Like, when you go from saying it wasn't me on some Shaggy,
it wasn't me,
and then you saying, okay, it was me, but it wasn't purposely done by me, and then you're saying, okay, it was done by me, but it was God's will. Like, come on, son.
It's so disrespectful. Well, anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We've been on this bad boy for an hour and 44 minutes. And for y'all that came in the beginning that have still been here, shout out to you, Elcar, Craig. I know Donna had to leave. Heather just stopped in for a few minutes. And thanks for everybody that also came in. I don't know who gave us a thumbs down, but you and Darrell are probably friends. Okay?
It probably was little Darrell.
Little Darrell came and gave us a thumbs down. Darrell probably got somebody
iPhone in prison.
Someone thumbs down us. So I just need all y'all to thumbs up us. We got to counteract that. I don't know who did it.
if
But it's
y'all
okay.
are watching me, and make sure that y'all are subscribed to the channel and turn the notifications on so y'all can catch when we're going live.
Priscilla, not TD Snakes, mama. Sorry. Priscilla said, well, now he has plenty of time to be a new TD Snakes. She said he missed that passage that day in Sunday school. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. She is funny.
So make sure that you all subscribe to the channel and make sure that you all turn on the notifications, all right? So that way you can catch every live video. You can catch every video that we release. And we do a lot of different reactions to different court cases and such. So
yeah, so here's the main thing, guys. We are... Like you guys know, we're a baby YouTube page. We're not known. We're not out there with the thousands and hundreds of millions of people. You know, we just got a humble 500 some followers. Okay, subscribers, I should call them. But let us know what you guys want to see our reactions on. I think that Naj and I are very honest and straightforward. We're very unbiased. We don't let certain things influence our decisions when kind of giving our true, honest feedback about things that we see. So if you guys have anything that you think that we should like watch or do a reaction to or commentary to, put in the comments so you can see it and we can make sure that we're all like giving each other a good, entertaining time. Darrell Brooks, we will be back with Darrell Brooks, but it'll be in a couple of weeks when his sentencing comes. But in the meantime, we're gonna move on to someone else because the man's crazy. I wish we see him get a butt. But yeah, so we'll be back to him just for that one last video when he gets his sentencing. Otherwise, that's gonna be pretty much it, and we're gonna be moving on. The next thing that we want to talk about is the Pikes Massacre trial that's been going on. The newest one, even though the first one happened like a year or so ago. We'll probably recap it and then talk about what's been going on right now. We have a couple other things that we've been looking into. Right now, we just learned about Courtney Clinny and how she murdered her boyfriend, who was an African guy in Miami, and she stabbed him or some stuff like that. So we're gonna... Thomas, you did that to us?
What happened?
Thomas said, sorry, hit the wrong button. You gave us the dislike.
You don't hit it. Oh, man. All right, hit the like button. It'll make it
don't
go
hurt
away.
us. I think he's playing with us, but still. I can't believe you did that to us.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So make sure that you all subscribe. Tap the notifications, all right? Because being subscribed does not guarantee that you're going to receive the videos. So you got to hit the notifications and just check the page throughout. On top of that, we want to thank our sponsors, Built by Plants, for sponsoring the videos.
Ruben.
Why you leaving grounds?
I love him. He is too much for me.
He was funny. Super
Guys,
funny.
I'll be honest with you. Like anything to get us excited to talk to you is also good. So definitely incentivize us just with your likes. It's all we want. It's some likes and subscribes, and we'll be happy. Share if you can, but we're not begging. It's okay. Whatever you can do.
We greatly appreciate the interaction, the engagement,
we love the
comments and stuff like that. So keep them coming with the comments. Comment on more of the other videos. Watch the other videos if you haven't seen the ones. This is like our seventh. It's like the seventh video.
How we go from 4th to 7th? I mean, I was talking about live. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, live. Yeah, but I'm talking about on this court case specifically. It's like
we do a lot of videos
7th video on this specific one. So watch the previous ones. Check it out or whatever.
Bye, Priscilla. Good night.
Y'all have
and
a
good
great
night, Pam. Ruben, you are so funny. I hope you come back
Yeah.
whenever we are on here.
Ruben, we appreciate you coming.
You made us laugh. You made us laugh. That was fun. So, but all right, guys, it's been fun. Please enjoy your night. Be safe. Halloween weekend. Do it up, my friends. Have a great time and deuces.
Peace.